How is it going, guys? I hope you guys had a nice day yesterday. Looks like low volatility. Looks like the Fed had no impact whatsoever. I guess um, the non-changed rates had a slightly positive impact on the market. So I'm not sure how long this is going to hold, but I am definitely sure that we might see a little bit more volatility towards the end of this week because the first 3 days were fairly low in volatility. Like nothing really happened. Um, so I think a larger move is on the horizon very soon. Um, I also think that like is kind of supported by the fact that the VIX is kind of staying bid here. It's staying over 15. Um, so from that point of view, I think perhaps we're going to see some kind of movement towards the end of the week, a very short term, but towards the end of the week. I'm sure the British election is going to have some kind of influence, and I'm sure at some point there's going to be new trade news. Everything is kind of ready for trade news right now. So I'm sure there's going to be something that's going to cause some turmoil. My kind of expectation is that they are going to postpone the whole thing, that they are going to be all happy and that they are going to be positive, and that we are probably going to. I almost think that we might see more. Honestly, I am thinking that we need a sell off, but I'm also thinking that we are probably going to get more upside. If that it makes any sense. Like I personally think we really need a sell-off. We really need a correction. But I also think a lot of the stuff is starting to look bullish again. A lot of the stocks that I'm going to go over today are starting to look bullish again. So I'm not sure if the market is just quite ready to sell off yet. All right, so I got a question. I'm going to do that real quick first. On the last video, where someone asked how I'm going to see the put volume, or unusual put volume, and I have set up a scan that I like found in some video at some point, which basically just it scans in the weeklies, which means that that's like the basic set of stocks that I'm scanning in, which means if they have weeklies, they're likely liquid enough to have, like to be traded options. Um, so that's just like a basic kind of a qualifier because like all the larger stocks who are in the S&P are probably in the weeklies as well. You could also scan in the S&P, but I don't know. I've always had the weeklies in. Then I have those three option scans. Like it needs to be a put, it needs to be under 50 days in expiration, and it needs to have over 10,000 contracts traded in volume. Right now, when you hit this, obviously we're not getting anything because it's pre-market or it's the trading session's not open. Especially the options market doesn't open until the actual trading session opens. So, but yeah, like that's the trade. That's the scan. I've saved that as a scan, and then you can just bring this like into like a watch list on Thinkorswim, and this is going to populate once the market opens, and that's kind of how I monitor put volume. I also have one for call volume, and it's just showing me like stocks that it's like often it's just stocks who have like something going on right now. They pop up in there. So this last week it was a financials. This was Apple that popped up. HYG popped up. So that's just some stuff that just gives me something to look at. And with Apple being so overbought, I thought, okay, that does have quite a bit of. It's interesting that it has that much put volume. And when we look at Apple right now, where are you? Let me put it in real quick. I don't have it on the list. Looks like a little bit of weakness here. Not sure if there's any news, but yeah, tested the uppercut, so maybe that's going to come true. I'm short slightly in my main portfolio, and I have like a few longer term short puts that I have in my in the secondary portfolio. So, but in general, I'm short delta in Apple. But just that's as a side note. All right, let's get to the list. MU, first one up, broke the trend line. Really nice candle here. Earnings is coming up, so if you take positions, keep that in mind. You probably don't want to hold through earnings. You never know what's going to happen. Like, you don't want to be in a situation like this where it gaps down. What's that? Like almost almost 10%. Actually, more than 10%. Went from 49 to 5%, 10% gap down, and then moved another few percent. So yeah, you don't want to be in that situation. So if you get long here, you want to get out before earnings. But I really like this this trend line break. Very nice. Also, over the resistance that we had. Now, I would love to see like a retest of the upper Celt, or see a retest of that 49 level, and then perhaps, hopefully, at the open, it's already gapping higher into the 50. So I don't know, 50 is a big psychological level. See, I have like an alert up here if it gets through 50 to alert me. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to hold from the get-go. I don't think we're going to get as much range as on this bar. If you look here, like the second bar, like if it goes, it can have a bit of range, but I don't know. I'm not too certain this is gonna run straight away, but who knows? Starbucks, I'm putting this up because it got upgraded. I actually expected a bit more of a retrace here, but this is now over that resistance level that it failed on Tuesday. DT might remember. So now we are back over. We are over 88, and we have quite a bit of room now to move. Let's see what we have here. So we are over this level from like on the way up. So I probably would look at, see what we have here. Like as a first target, perhaps, wait, where are we here? It's probably this, like the 88, 90, 89 level. That might be the next, so about $1 move. That might be the next target here. That just logically, perhaps like 88.37. Let's see, where are we right now? 88.37 is already ahead. So it already tested that almost. So I would say, depending on what it does off the open, if this gets through 88.37, I would target 89 next as a initial target. And if it gets through 89, then 89.50 as a bit of a stronger level here from this consolidation. So 89.50 to 90, probably the next resistance zone that we would be looking at. But this is really nice how it came out of this bottoming pattern here and now is off to the races. Next one, Baba. This one is strong as well. Broke out to new highs after. I really like this one actually. With all the money inflow from the listing in Hong Kong, really strong. Tested the Celt here. Tested the 14 on that sell-off in the market as well. So if this gets through 205. We're selling off a little bit here, but if this gets through 205, man, we could see the 210s very soon, I think, because this looks really, really strong. But it is selling off right now, so perhaps like on a pullback, you probably want to see if that 202, 203 kind of level, 250, 203 level, if that holds, and then perhaps depending on what the market does, this might be an opportunity to take like a reversal trade intraday. Next one, Tesla. Kramer is bullish. Just remember that now, guys. Kramer switched bullish today, and at the same time, we're getting this really nice, what's it called? This candle has a name. I don't know. I think it's a shooting star or something. Just a bit of a reversal candle. It's not super bearish because it's still green, and we are also heading like gaining a little bit in pre-market, but in general, it tried the upper kilt and it failed. And volume is diminishing a little bit as well. So 350 retest at least, and even, you know, like a 345 retest is absolutely in the cards, I think. I mean, also again, depending on the market, but Kramer is a pretty good indicator for a contrarian trade. So, and it's had 4 green days in a row, at least a little bit of consolidation should be in the cards here. On the other hand, like you see this here, had like a similar kind of candle where it moved higher afterwards, but this was actually a breakout. So this is still within like previous levels. So it's definitely not the same scenario. So I would expect a bit of consolidation here. Baba, really nice hold here on high volume. I'm not sure whether I set like the 340 target here or what I mentioned, but I remember I mentioned it. So now after like this kind of retracement, almost to the bottom of the range, I would, and you know, this is a strong signal of a reversal. I think if this gets through 350 today, we could see at least a retest of say 354, and 354 is a good level actually, 354.20, and then perhaps even 360, you know, like depending on the market. Amazon, perfect hold, almost perfect hold of that trend line that we've had. Also nice hold of that 1736.40 level that I've been mentioning. So now I would probably expect a retest of that middle Celt, also, which probably coincides with like some like that 1757 level that's been tagged here a few times. So yeah, probably. Also look at that close, really nice bullish close. So that could be a intraday trade up into that 1757 level today. McDonald's. This one is really interesting right now because we are getting to the end of this wedge, whatever it is. Even if we redraw like that trend line, we are getting to a decision point here. What it wants to do. It's currently holding the middle Celt. It's currently holding the 14, but it also failed perfectly at the 30. So the range is getting tighter, and whichever way it breaks, you probably want to like see or find a entry into that direction. Generally, it's under 200. It's you know, it's been selling off quite a bit after earnings here. So perhaps this wants to head a little bit lower. Perhaps this wants to retest at 190 level. But on the other hand, if the market, you know, like gets into the holiday rally, you might also, like, if it breaks above, you might also retest the 200. Just something to keep on watch right now. I think a decision is near. Spotify, back on the list. I've been looking at this one for a while. It's not really been showing its hand just yet, but I really like this sell-off and then reclaim candle. Like it tried to sell off the open and then held VWAP and that 146.30 level really nicely all day long. And now at the end of the day, it even got over 147. So next thing we would probably want to see is a break of that trend line, a break of this previous high at what's this, 148.89, 149, and a hold over the upper Celt for move up higher. This has been consolidating long enough after the earnings, so I think this is this could be ready for another move anytime soon. Again, depending on the market, a lot of things depend on the trade deal right now, or just, you know, trade news. In general, Spotify is probably not as dependent on China, but still, if the market goes wild, everything gets correlated. Next one, UNH. I FOMO'd into a long trade here end of last week because I really like this candle. Just a defined risk, selling premium kind of type of trade. So I'm still very good. This is looking nice how it's holding the 276.50, 278.50 kind of zone that we've had from back here. So it's holding. It's been holding for almost 2 weeks now. Looking at how long this consolidation was about the same length. So perhaps this wants to make another decision soon, and perhaps retest the previous highs still on those healthcare news that we've had that I actually thought were bogus. But hey, it's clearly reacting bullish on it. So I'm gonna just follow the trend. Wayfair, really nice. Look at how. Usually when we came to the top or the bottom of this range, we had nice reversals like here, or just it's never had like a hold right at the bottom with really tight doji kind of candles. So this to me, this starts to look fairly bullish with the market as well. So watch it. I mean, if this breaks under 87.50 or 86.70, you probably want to ignore it and wait for another setup, perhaps a retest of like the middle kill or something like that. But if this breaks that 89 level, we might be off to the races. If we see volume, you guys want to get in, because this has been nice and tight and really it's tried to break down and then it reversed. So that to me is like this kind of fake out, stop running kind of type of behavior that you see intraday. So I don't know if this often applies to daily charts as well, but it reminds me of that. So really watch this one. I think this might actually be coiling to go. Next one, ATVI, Activision. Really nice move. I'm going to try to take profits in this today. Let's see. I'm still a bit off from my target profit, but maybe if this manages to hold, theta might decay enough so I could take it off into the end of the week. But really nice. I want to see a retest of 56 of the upper Celt before this can go higher, because this has now, failed at this kind of top of the range that we've had since September. So give this a little bit of time to consolidate, and then it might want to head higher. It definitely looks quite bullish. Like see how it had this bottoming pattern here, and now since September, it's been holding clearly holding over what was resistance on that bottoming pattern. It's actually really, really beautiful and clean the way this held. Apart from this test, but that test held beautifully as well, and look how it springboarded off that. So yeah, I really like this one, medium term for that breakout, the gap fill into what's that, like 62, that 62 level. So definitely something that you really should keep in mind for the next few weeks. And I guess video games is also kind of a Christmas kind of thing, so for presents and stuff, so that might profit from this as well. United held that trend line really nicely, came back over to the 200, and now I'm going to try to get a little bit more long on this one for a just had this big move down, so I'm trying to get long into for a retest of the 90 level and see what we do from there. Of course, this depends on like oil prices, and this one is definitely more dependent on trade and all that stuff. So everything just needs. I'm always gonna say, hey, just the caveat is depending on the market, especially these days when it's so nervous in regards to trade. But I really like how this held this trend line support here and the 200 after breaking it yesterday. So last one, and now NOW, kind of similar to what we just saw in UAL. Quite the sell-off. Lower held it nicely back over the 30, and now if this can get back over yesterday's high, which is at 268.20, we could see like a retest of that middle celt. Just watch out with this one. The spreads are a little bit wide, and it has just broken down back under the resistance that turned into support. It's broken back down under, so don't hold this for too long if you decide to trade this, and make sure you get a good price. So speaking of getting good prices, I wanted to quickly at the end bring something up that I almost forgot to record, that came up in chat today, and that is how you could, like if you have a trade idea or something that you would like to try out, I have a suggestions what you could be doing. So like say you have an idea in SPY, say, okay, we're overbought, I'm gonna get short, so you bring up the chain and you make a thesis like, okay, I wanna wait for the SPY to give me like a good price, just a bit of a rally. So say a dollar wide spread, you want to collect, you want to pay a bit less, right? Or say let's make it a 2-to-1, right? So you want to pay less, so you have to wait for the market to come and help you come a little bit in your direction. So what you can do, you can just say, look, this is the price I'm willing to buy this spread at. You hit it, you put it in, and then if the market comes and hits you, you're golden because you got the trade that you wanted, and you don't have to chase, and you don't have to be there during the day. The only downside is that perhaps you might not get filled. You are not able to like react to stuff like say if it's rallies, but just like not by 2 or 3 cents, and you're not getting hit by 2 or 3 cents. But this is a method that I've been using often when I didn't have time. Like right now, I'm doing this actually all the time. I have like trade ideas that I'm setting up, and I'm literally just thinking, okay, say $3 wide, $3 wide. I want to collect, say, I want to collect $2, and then I put that in. And then I just wait. If it hits me, it hits me. If it doesn't hit me, it doesn't hit me. I do the same thing with profit taking. I'm putting in GTC orders, and I just wait for it to hit me. So that's like one thing that you could do to still be able to put on trades if you're at work, or if you're asleep, or if you just can't be there during market hours. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you guys are going to have a good day. I'm going to see, I might be around for the open real quick. Just going to see how this Apple situation develops. But other than that, I hope you're going to have a good day. Stay safe. Look out for British election news that might have an influence. So yeah, just stay safe. Hope you guys are going to have a good day. Please like the video. Please hit that subscribe, the notification bell. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. And as always, if you have like any questions, any comments, please put them in the comment section below. I will be very happy to reply to anything that you guys bring up. As you see, like I actually really enjoy answering questions, like the one that came up. So if you have more stuff like that, just fire it off. It would be really great to put a little bit more education into this instead of just looking at stocks. But for now, that's it. Again, stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.